Hi, it's week 14. This is our second video. Today is Wednesday, April the 26th. Your research paper is due in just a couple of days, and I want to take a few moments and go over with you a few last-minute details, specifically plagiarism. Plagiarism means submitting someone else's words or ideas as your own. It's problematic when you're writing research papers because you're doing lots and lots of research. You're looking at lots of other people's words and ideas, but then you have to use your own, or you have to give them credit. Now remember, the purpose of a research paper is to find the research that supports your general idea and then cite it. I'm always surprised when students do good research, they incorporate it successfully into their paper, and then that for whatever reason, they just don't take that last step of citing it. Just a simple little in-text citation, author's last name, page number, that's it. And when that happens, it's plagiarism. So please be sure to follow the instructions and to quote and cite anything you use word for word. And if you use a summary or a paraphrase of another person's ideas, you need to cite those as well. Remember also, you basically have to cite everything you found while doing research. Any date, any number, any statistic, anything. Not only the direct quotes that you pull from the source, but any sort of fact or figure or information also needs to be cited. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I may have some paragraphs that have 3 or 4 little isolated facts in them. That's okay. Much better to cite often than to not cite. So, yeah, plug in those in-text citations and, of course, list the works in alphabetical order on your works cited page. Be sure to format those correctly. We had a little discussion in class this morning, and I was asking students when, according to MLA formatting guidelines, when do you use all caps on the works cited page? The answer is never. MLA doesn't use all caps. Also, for every title of a book, title of an article, title of anything, you're going to capitalize the first letter of each major word. Now, you may be seeing sources that don't do that. Specifically, if you go to Google Scholar and you click on the little cite button, it doesn't do that. I don't know why, but it's incorrect. For our purposes this semester, we're always going to capitalize the first letter of each major word. Now, what goes in italics, mixed messages. What goes in quotation marks and what gets italicized? Good question. Those things go in quotation marks, which are short stories, title of a chapter, title of an article, anything which is a part of the whole. Those things go in italics, which are the whole thing. The book, the anthology, the journal, the title of the journal would be italicized. Anything that's whole and published by itself gets italicized. Anything which is published as part of something else goes in quotation marks. Again, look at the examples or look up the MLA website or the Purdue website, and it'll both show you how and tell you how. Let me encourage you, again, to be sure your thesis clearly answers the research question, that each topic sentence somehow supports or relates to the main idea, that each paragraph develops just one main idea, that's the idea that is mentioned in your topic sentence, and then you have one, and the simplest way to do that is to have a topic sentence, then have a quote that supports that topic sentence, and then you spend the next 4 or 5 or 6 sentences explaining how that quote supports the topic sentence, what it means, what's the context, the general idea. Someone else asked another important question. If we quote or paraphrase one source, that has to be cited. Yes. Suppose we pull together 2 or 3 or 4 different sources and we come up with a summary on our own. That's you. That doesn't have to be cited. All right? You're going to cite anything that's not considered common knowledge or anything you haven't written. So that's something you have written based on general research. And that's you, so it doesn't have to be cited. I encourage you to take a look at that PowerPoint I posted up, take a look at those web links that are up, and kind of get an idea of what plagiarism is and isn't. It's always distressing to me when a student gets a 0 because of plagiarism, and it's hard to tell if it's accidental or not or on purpose or whatever. But remember, if you quote somebody, if you copy and paste from another source, a published source, even if you change 1 or 2 words per line, that's still plagiarism, and the originality report will still pick it up. So take your time, cite your sources. This is a research paper. List those on the works cited page. Follow the directions. Proofread carefully, and you're going to do well. I'm looking forward to reading what you have to say in your papers. These are interesting topics. Thanks, and let me know if you have any questions.